Thank you all for coming again. Hopefully this morning's flight was enjoyable and something that you thoroughly enjoyed to see in air refueling. It's a pretty neat experience. My name is Major Scott. I'm the Public Affairs Officer at the Continental U.S. NORAD region. We do the air defense piece for NORAD for the lower 48. But we have, again, thank you for coming today. We have a couple of folks that are here to speak to you. And what we'll do is we'll do a group Q&A shortly after everybody kind of speaks. And then following that, we will allow for one-on-one interviews, and you can find, we have some subject matter experts available that you guys can get one-on-one interviews with. And we will probably wait for this to taxi real quick before we continue. But the first subject matter expert that we're going to have for you to speak to.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Colonel Akshay Gandhi, the commander of the 169th Fighter Wing, and I'm also the base commander here at Mcentire Joint National Guard Base. I'd like to thank you for coming out here, and we really appreciate the interest in the North American Aerospace Defense Command mission that you're all showing. So today's flight was really a practice for what the NORAD team is prepared to do over Super Bowl 53 over Mercedes-Benz Stadium. While it was a practice for that particular event, just realize that the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD as we call it, is ready to go 24/7, 365. So what that means is, at any day of any minute, we've got airmen ready to go and the full air defense team to protect North America. For Super Bowl 53, we'll enforce what's called a temporary flight restriction. Now, what is that? That's something that the Federal Aviation Administration, the ones who control the airspace over the continental United States, they set up over what we call special security events. Super Bowl 53 is one of those events, but there are a variety of different ones that take place. It could be the Republican or Democratic National Conventions, it could be the presidential inauguration, the G8 summit, the United Nations General Assembly. Those are some of the examples of what might be a special security event. While we're an Air National Guard unit, we're just one component of that air defense team that NORAD fields. It's a bunch of airmen, soldiers, Coast Guardsmen, all working together with our interagency partners. Some of those partners, I've already talked about the Federal Aviation Administration, but then you also have Customs and Border Protection, the Secret Service, and the Civil Air Patrol. We're partnered not only to protect what's going on with the Super Bowl, but pretty much every day around the clock across the United States, the NORAD air defense team is standing watch, standing ready. And that extends over into Canada with our Canadian partners and into Alaska as well as the continental United States. Just like the Patriots and the Rams are practicing for their big game day, the NORAD team does the same sort of thing, and that's a little bit of what you've seen today. And tomorrow will be our dress rehearsal in an exercise called Falcon Virgo. The Civil Air Patrol will be out flying as a track of interest, and what that means is it's an aircraft that is simulating violating the protected airspace over the Super Bowl. The air defense team will go ahead and deal with that and intercept that aircraft and then get it to do what it needs to do to protect the airspace over the Super Bowl. For the last 60 plus years, the Homeland Defense mission has been NORAD's #1 priority. So when it comes to game day, what we want you to do is we want you to watch the game because we'll be watching the skies. Thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to our tanker brother.
Thanks, Thank you, Colonel Gandhi. This is Lieutenant Colonel Travers Hurst. I'm with the 134th Air Refueling Wing out of McGee-Tyson Air National Guard Base, Knoxville, Tennessee. On behalf of Colonel Lee Hartley, our wing commander, we'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to come down today, participate with the 169th, and have an opportunity to demonstrate what the young men and women of the United States Air Force, the Air National Guard, get a chance to practice and exercise their abilities every day of the week. We're thankful that we got an opportunity to participate today and demonstrate some of the capabilities we have and how we can protect the skies not only on Super Bowl Sunday, but every day of the week. At this time, if you have any technical questions about the KC-135R Stratotanker, I'm going to turn it over to our subject matter expert, Major Justin Wilson.
My name is Justin Wilson. I'm the Director of Operations in 151st Air Refueling Squadron in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're just glad to be here. We work on a weekly basis with Mcentire, and this has been a great practice for us, and it'll get us ready for game day. Our mission as an air refueler is just to keep the fighters airborne longer. They typically can go for an hour and a half, 2 hours without refueling, and we're there to keep them in the air so they can do their mission.
Good afternoon, I'm Ben McCall. I represent the Civil Air Patrol. We're part of the Total Force NORAD group, and we're all volunteer organization. We have about 61,000 members across the U.S. We do these missions quite regularly, a couple of times a month, and it's always a privilege to work with the Guard and the other part of the NORAD. We have about 560 aircraft. Most of them are single-engine Cessnas, high wing, so we can do various programs. We do disaster relief programs, aerospace education, and cadet youth services. So we're, there we go, now it got nice and quiet. We're just proud to be part of this team and to work with the outstanding individuals of our military. So again, thank you for coming out today, and hope we have a good time.
So real quick, we'll do if there's any group questions for the group, and then we can break off and do one-on-one interviews for folks. So are there any questions for the group as a whole?
Commander, how important are in cooperative missions like this and training, making sure everyone's prepared for the unthinkable or anything like that when game day shows up?
So these, an exercise such as Falcon Virgo tomorrow or what we did today, those are actually routine events that take place, and they are absolutely essential because, as you can imagine, it's a bunch of people from different organizations that have got to be able to come together at the critical moment and make some very timely decisions. Now, everything is run under a very strict set of rules of engagement, and nobody is out there John Wayning anything or doing anything by themselves. They are fully integrated and supporting each other from all different aspects.
Sir, we saw jets in action today. Can you talk a little bit about what is needed on the ground from airmen to ensure that those crews and the planes can be up in the air?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that question, because you know, you're right. You see the jets in action, and that's the front face of the mission is the fighter aircraft. But there's a whole lot more to it than just the fighters. So you saw the tanker. That's the other air component to it. On the ground, it takes a bunch of airmen to generate those airplanes, to fuel and load and ready those aircraft, repair them when they break. You have the support personnel who bring the different supplies onto the base, the logistics associated with operating a very complex airframe. That's just the on-the-base aspect of it. So then you talk about when we're actually airborne and flying the missions, you have the air defense controllers, you have the air operations center that's coordinating all the activity, that's planning everything and putting it together. It is quite a large endeavor, and that is constantly going on. Again, you know, it might be Christmas Day in the wee hours of the morning, and somebody from the or a bunch of people from the NORAD Air Defense Team are standing watch.
Fueling mission you guys have and maybe the aircraft itself. How important is it? You talk about how difficult it can be, depending, you know, it's getting colder here in South Carolina, especially Atlanta's going to experience snow and ice overnight, over temperatures maybe by the time game day rolls around. How important is it, how difficult is it to make sure that you make it look easy and get the aircraft, your that big tanker in the sky is safe and ready to roll?
Yes, sir. Weather always has a factor in any kind of flying or aviation that you're going to do. And you're exactly right. The weather on the ground could have an effect if it's snowing or icing on the runway. And then same thing in the air, as you guys saw today. It wasn't a beautiful, clear day once we got up there. But yeah, absolutely that has an effect on it. But the Air Force trains in all different types of environment, and we're always ready to go.